If you or someone you love is living with ALS, you know that navigating the world of benefits can feel, well, it can feel like trying to solve a massive, complicated puzzle. It's a lot, it can be overwhelming, but getting it right is absolutely essential. So let's dive in. We're going to build a clear roadmap using your state's benefits as a guide to getting that crucial long-term support.
Okay, first things first. We have to get one really important distinction crystal clear right from the start. You've heard of Medicare, right? It's great for doctor visits, hospital stays, that kind of short-term medical stuff. But here's the catch. It does not cover the long-term, daily, in-home care that so often becomes necessary with ALS. For that, we have to turn to state Medicaid. Getting this one difference is really the key that unlocks everything else we're going to talk about.
And you know, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? State benefits aren't some little add-on. For so many families, they are the absolute backbone of care. They provide the fundamental support that makes it possible to live with dignity.
So, to make sense of this whole system, we're going to break it down into 3 core pillars. We'll start by understanding what a state-level lifeline even means. Then we'll get into Pillar 1, healthcare and home. After that, Pillar 2, independence and accessibility. And finally, Pillar 3, your support network. Then we'll wrap it all up.
So what are we talking about when we say a state-level lifeline? Well, take a program like Medicaid. Even though it gets money from the federal government, it's your state that's really in the driver's seat. The state decides who's eligible, what services they're going to offer, and how you actually get them. And that's why where you live matters so much.
All right, let's get into our first and honestly most critical pillar, healthcare and home. Think of this as the bedrock of daily care. These are the essential, hands-on services that make it possible for someone with ALS to keep living safely and comfortably right in their own home. You might hear this acronym, LTSS. It stands for Long-Term Services and Supports. It's a really broad term, but it basically just means all the different kinds of help and assistance a person needs for those daily activities that most of us just take for granted. This is really the heart of what Medicaid can do for you.
And these supports are incredibly real and tangible. We're talking about things like having personal care attendants come to the house to help with daily routines, getting skilled nursing care right in your living room, having someone to manage your case, getting those essential medical and respiratory supplies delivered. It's that practical, day in, day out support.
So, with all that available, you're probably wondering, is there a way to get the most comprehensive package of support? There is. But it all comes down to meeting one very specific and, honestly, kind of counterintuitive requirement.
And this is it. This is the key. You have to be able to show that you meet what's called the nursing facility level of care. What that means is your care needs are significant enough that you would qualify to be in a nursing home. Now, here's the crucial part. Proving this is what actually unlocks the best services designed to keep you out of a nursing home and living at home. And the way this happens is through something called Home and Community-Based Services, or HCBS waivers. These are special state programs that basically waive some of the normal Medicaid rules so they can provide a much bigger range of support at home. We're talking about things like building a ramp or a roll-in shower, modifying a vehicle, or even getting respite services for caregivers. Just a quick heads up though, since these are state-run, some of them do have waiting lists.
Okay, that was Pillar 1, the absolute foundation of daily care. Let's move on to Pillar 2. This is all about the tools and programs that help maintain independence, accessibility, and just the ability to keep engaging with the world and living fully.
Every single state has an assistive technology program, and you have to know about these. They're incredible resources. They can loan you equipment for a short time, maybe while you're waiting on insurance. They can connect you with used or refurbished devices, and they give you access to that life-changing tech like speech-generating devices and adaptive computer equipment. They really help fill in the gaps.
For anyone with ALS who wants to keep working, state vocational rehabilitation agencies can be an absolute game changer. They don't just help you find a job, they give you the tools you need to keep your job. That means things like funding for workplace modifications, helping you restructure your duties, and even providing the communication devices you need to stay productive.
State benefits can also just ease the friction of daily life. I'm talking about really practical things like state-run paratransit services for getting around, those disability parking placards, and even financial perks like paying less for vehicle registration or not paying sales tax on adaptive equipment. Each one might seem small, but they all add up.
All right, finally, let's look at Pillar 3, your support network. This is the broader safety net. This is all about knowing your rights and knowing who to call when you need help, whether it's with advocacy, housing, or other critical services that wrap around everything else.
Okay, think of this slide as your personal cheat sheet. It tells you exactly who to call when you're facing a specific problem. So, if Medicaid denies a service you need, you call your state's protection and advocacy agency. If you're facing discrimination in housing, legal aid can step in. It's your roadmap for fighting for your rights.
And that network just keeps going. You should also look for state housing programs. They might have vouchers or even grants for home modifications. There are pharmaceutical assistance programs to help with the high cost of medication, and there are also departments of disability services that can offer help even outside of the Medicaid system.
So, let's take a breath. We've walked through our 3 pillars: the core medical support at home, the essential tools for independence, and that broader safety net. Now let's just put it all together and really focus on the main takeaway here.
So what is the single most important thing to remember from all of this? It's this: state benefits are not secondary. They are foundational. For a person living with ALS, how good and how accessible these programs are, that is often the single biggest factor that determines whether they can stay at home, surrounded by their family and community, or if they have to move into a facility. I mean, the stakes are literally that high.
And that leaves us with one final and really vital question. Every single system we've talked about is designed, funded, and run by your state. So, the most important next step you can take is to ask, what does the support system in my state actually look like? Finding that answer is the first step to building your own foundation of support.